Okay, so hello everyone. I really wasn't going to do this video, but there's an immense amount of pressure on me to do this video. Okay, so I'm just about to do it. So we're going to talk about extraterrestrials. So I grew up in the Christian religion, so I was completely biased for a very long time about extraterrestrials. And all my life I have encountered individuals that have spoken a lot about extraterrestrials, that have encountered extraterrestrials. And me as a young girl being influenced by the religion, I'm looking at these people like they're fucking crazy, but I mean that's what religion does to you. So, you know, when I begin to step outside of my box and I begin to go on my self-discovery journey, I began to put it all together as to why I would incorporate certain individuals. You know, you have to stop and think, why do you keep encountering and revisiting certain topics, subjects, or people, right? For me, it is the extraterrestrials. For my younger sister, she's always encountered and attracted individuals who are kind of like witchy, people who are in covens, a lot of Gothic people. Um, she's, just very, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't want to offend anyone, but there is a reason as to why she is encountering, that group of consciousness. And there is a reason why I'm attracting my group of consciousness. And if you're paying attention, to your life and those circumstances or experiences that make you go, what? That's telling you something. So this is a very long this is a very long topic. You wouldn't believe the types of epiphanies and enlightenments, the types of dreams. There have been times to where I have completely like left my body to be shown certain things about what has taken place over the years. And it is very far-fetched to most people because this information is not presented outwardly. And when it is presented outwardly, it's not always the best representation. It's more so out to be look like some type of, almost like some type of fairy tale. You know, in the perspective of extraterrestrials, they keep the minds of the people one foot in and one foot out. You know what I mean? So, it's crazy because the government is in contact with extraterrestrials. I can give you, I have, like I said, I've encountered a lot of people. I have an interview with this guy, right? I was led to this man. I was led to him. You wouldn't believe it. Like in the city of Richmond, there's this place called the Pipeline. And people stay on one side of the pipeline. There's a bridge. It's like railroad tracks. It's not, when you look at crossing those railroad tracks and how high it is, you're just like, oh, hell no, I don't think I'm going to do this. One day I did it. And within the river, there are what they call little islands. And so I decided one day that I was going to cross that bridge. I crossed that bridge and I discovered like this whole other world. It was just a whole bunch of homeless people who had set up living, their living styles. They set up camp. And I met this guy and he actually became a mentor to me as well. Because at this time, this was a part of my journey to where I was trying to teach myself gratitude, how to be less greedy. And, I was just practicing a lot. So there was times to where I would live on the river, but I never crossed that bridge until this time. So when I crossed the bridge, I met this guy and, he starts talking to me because he's been out there for a very long time. At one point in time, he had to go to jail, because somebody tried to take something out of his tent and he shot him. So he had to go to jail. But before he went to jail, he had encountered extraterrestrials, and he gave me the story of what happened. And he said that when he went to jail, they found a chip in his head, and he was just like, it was those damn extraterrestrials. He was like, I ain't never had no chip in my head. I ain't never had no damn surgery. I never had nothing. He was like, it was them. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, you don't even remember them getting close to you or you even seeing them. So it's kind of like I'm questioning what it is in which that he's saying. But you have to understand, extraterrestrials are an advanced civilization, light years ahead of us. If they wanted to come down and destroy Earth, they absolutely could. But the majority of them are very intrigued by the human mind. Human beings, we value love, but they're interested in the romance between human beings instead of the love because they really they see that we really don't know what love is. Like the world is too mentally fucked up to really practice, um, to really be able to practice the true potential of love. So you have to understand they have been here for a very long time. And I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to write it in a story. And this is kind of how I deal with my past lives, and I deal with a lot of the experiences in which that I have. I will write it, put it into a story, you know. Um, because the thing is that there really is no such thing as history, right? And instead of regurgitating what the information in which that is already out there, you know, I'm putting together the story of what took place from my perspective, from what it is in which that I'm enlightened to, from what it is in which that I can remember. And in a way, this is me being able to record a lot of the truths, you know. So look, you do not live in the world in which that you think that you live in. And it's probably best that most human beings really don't know the truth about things. There's a reason why the government won't expose that they are in communication with the extraterrestrials. There's a certain period in time to where they will come and visit Earth. And during this time, you'll notice a lot of distractions going on in the world. Rather, it's a quote unquote natural disaster. Rather, it's a pandemic. Rather, you have drama and shit going on with celebrities and all that type of stuff. Like, when it seems like it's kind of like it'll be a chain reaction of events all over the world. It's like little volcanoes of drama to be able to distract human beings, you know. I'm going to say in 2023, though, there was a big shift because I remember I was delivering newspapers and I would deliver them overnight. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I saw what looked like stars lined up diagonal. And I said, oh my God, that is so beautiful. I've never seen anything like that before. But then I started thinking to myself, I said, oh shit. I was just like, I've never seen stars lined up like that before. So I sat there and I watched it. Something in my mind told me to get my phone and record it. But I said, I don't want to miss this moment because I can't believe what I'm seeing. And all of a sudden, the stars begin to vibrate. The way in which that they moved, they begin to move downward. And they move like bees. Don't know planes, don't know jets. Nothing that human beings have created moves like this. And they weren't that far apart from each other. They were in alignment. They were in a line. And they were moving downward and they stayed in that same line. As if they were, coming in and lining up to hit the ground or whatever. A week later, in the New York Times, somebody took a picture of the exact same thing that I saw, right? And this is more recent, so I have more of an understanding. I'm just like, people are going to overlook this because that's what the dumb shit they do. But last summer, around this time, there was a lot of activity in the sky at night. And I remember the last time that I seen these, I call them starships. I remember sitting on my porch and it was a line. It was the same line. It wasn't diagonal. It was a straight line. And it looked like stars, right? So they were lined up behind each other and they were flying across the sky together. Jets, planes, they do not fly like this. They do not move like this. Like I tried to tell people and people just thought I was crazy. So I was just like, man, whatever. Years ago, I want to say in 2018, maybe 17, I remember it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I had picked my son up from school and we were walking home and I looked up in the sky and I saw a star in broad daylight. It was clear blue sky, no clouds, and I said, oh, look at that big ass star right there sitting in the sky. And then I said to myself, I said, wait a minute, what is a star doing out at this time? And why is it so bright? So I looked at it and I turned my head because I was just like, I want to make sure I'm not tripping because I can't believe I'm seeing this right now. So I looked at it again and then I looked away from it. And then I looked at it again. And when I looked at it again, it disappeared into a stream. Okay. So the civilization, and there are many extraterrestrial civilizations, just like we have different ethnicities. It's like the same for them as well. So the thing is that I know that we have these images of extraterrestrials like being like oval heads, long bodies, big beady eyes, as big as the head and all this type of stuff. You know, remember that that is like an image. You know what I'm saying? Like stripped down to the core, I'm pretty sure it's similar. But extraterrestrials, they're walking around here on Earth. They're entertaining, they are renting these meat suits, and they're walking around living the human experience. So you also have individuals who are mixed breed, where human and extraterrestrial will get together. Some individuals choose to experience Earth, experience human beings as an observer, right? But the thing is that when they touch down in this atmosphere, because it's so dense, they fall asleep. And then on top of that, a part of the human experience is being born into trauma. So that trauma puts them down even more. So the thing is that when they begin to ascend, when they begin to wake up, that is when the DNA begins to activate. And that's when they begin to pick up on a lot of things. Things from past time, things from past time, I mean past life. They begin to tap into out of this world. Out of this world, it's not an experience, it's truths. Okay. And so the more in which that they wake up, that's when their DNA is activated and then they begin to remember. But these are usually individuals who are kind of like the observers. So because they're actually a direct connect to the extraterrestrials, they're a direct channel. That's why when sometimes individuals talk about hearing the white noise, that is kind of like the extraterrestrials are cutting on the record, right? Which means that they're listening to everything around you, and they are picking up messages. They're picking up messages from animals. They pick up messages through sounds and vibrations, you know. So it's all brain work. It's all brain work. Like it's studying the human brain at the same time studying the individual, the vessel, and at the same time studying the extraterrestrial that is entertaining that body. There's so much that I could give you, but certain things are just not meant to be said publicly. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be best if it were written, you know, or put into like a story form or something like that, or a book, like a book that speaks a lot about, that's teaching, that's like teaching more of extraterrestrial, like the understanding of it, and of course, because they're out of this world, that's why there are some individuals who come off a bit weird, you know, um, but honestly, I feel like I've kind of said a little too much, and I just really don't feel too comfortable with exposing too much of what I know around this subject, because you have to be careful with the consciousness of human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just bust open their brain. You can't, you just, especially if an individual is not open and they're not willing to be open, it can be very harmful. That's why a lot of this information, it kind of goes sacred. Individuals know who they can share certain information with, so you may come across a random stranger and they start talking about extraterrestrials and all of that stuff. You should kind of feel honored and flattered because that encounter alone is saying a lot. All right, but we're pretty much going to wrap it up here. So until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.